No stranger to controversy, Jane Fonda is proving to be one of Hollywood's most enduring and best preserved stars. Now in her 70s, she looks terrific for someone with a much younger age tag. But Jane insists she's had no cosmetic help. In fact, she sees herself as an ambassador for the gracefully aging woman. And as the face of L'Oreal's anti-aging product range, she hopes to convince her peers that they too can look like her simply by taking good care of themselves. Whether or not she's on the level about her age-defying looks, she can certainly lay claim to great genetics. She's the spitting image of her father Henry, whose piercing blue eyes and razor-sharp cheekbones helped make him one of the great stars of Hollywood's golden age. By 1970, after finding success as an actor in her own right, Jane developed a passion for activism, becoming one of the first celebrities to use their star power to raise awareness of political issues. In Jane's case, the issue was the Vietnam War. Vocal in her denunciation of the US Army's presence in Nam, she and fellow actor Donald Sutherland formed the Free the Army tour. They went on an anti-war roadshow with their so-called political vaudeville, with the aim of talking to soldiers about their upcoming deployment to Vietnam. Jane ended up getting herself into hot water on her own trip to Vietnam in 1972. On a mission to investigate claims that the Nixon administration had been deliberately bombing the civilian dike system along the Red River, she was photographed sitting on a Vietnamese anti-aircraft gun. The photo earned her the epithet Hanoi Jane and caused outrage throughout Loyalist America, with many viewing it as an act of treason. Over the years, protesters have attempted to disrupt the shooting and screening of her movies. But nothing could dampen the drive and determination of the two-time Oscar winner, who kick-started the personal fitness revolution of the 1980s with her exercise videos. The Jane Fonda workout, complete with leotards, leggings and Teflon hair, ended up selling in excess of 17 million copies. She also showed great entrepreneurial nous in opting to produce the 1980 blockbusting chick flick 9 to 5, co-starring Lily Tomlin and Dolly Parton. Nor have all the abuse and death threats daunted her activist spirits. In January 2007, she added her voice to the swelling chorus of opposition to the war in Iraq. But Jane's sympathies are not reserved for the developing world. On meeting troubled teen queen Lindsay Lohan on the set of Georgia Rule in 2006, she was deeply moved.
She has an ability to access her emotions that's very beautiful. She's made me cry several times when I'm giving her the off-stage lines, and she's made me cry. She's very moving.
The film, itself about child abuse and family, tapped into some of Jane's own painful memories.
You know, it's about healing and forgiveness where there's been dysfunction, and don't we all know about dysfunction? So it's quite universal.
Jane's dysfunctional childhood included enduring the suicide of her mother and a difficult relationship with her film star father, who remained cold towards her until his death in 1982. In 2000, she flew to France to mourn the loss of another father figure, Roger Vadim. Jane fell in love with the charismatic French director in the early 60s, and they married in 1965. In her autobiography, Jane depicted him as a party-loving womanizer who would often persuade her to take part in threesomes. After her divorce from Roger, she went on to marry politician Tom Hayden, who also cheated on her. Her most recent trip down the aisle was to media tycoon Ted Turner. Despite their great love for each other, Jane was eventually unable to cope with Ted's lack of compromise within the relationship. She finally divorced him in 2001 and drew on her experience with Ted to play J-Lo's worst nightmare in Monster-in-Law.
I spent, you know, a good, wonderful 10 years with him, and he's a very over-the-top kind of flamboyant, outrageous character that's also lovable.
Since then, she's been proving she can still move with the times with her regular postings on Facebook and updates on Twitter. Clearly, she's still got plenty left to do.
Achieve peace, I'd like to help achieve peace and a little bit of equity in the world and help raise my grandchildren to be the best people they can. And I'd like to make a few more kick-ass movies.